at the present time, and moving towards the northeast, maybe a little bit north of northeast, and so it's becoming a little bit more threat for the Carolina coast.
How close is close enough to cause some damage, cause some problems?
Right now, I'm sure they're getting beach erosion from the swells that are occurring there. The rain bands themselves we're watching on radar, and the gale force winds are just like 5 to 10 miles off the coast, and they will be affecting the coast here later this morning.
Can you tell us how long before the danger is over?
It's going to be a while. The storm is moving very slow. It's moving at about 5 to 6 miles per hour. And if this apparent somewhat more...
Reported going into the story. Both parties said that the wind was not all that bad. However, the major danger now is that the thunderstorms that are associated with this hurricane could spawn tornadoes. The wind speeds really are coming down to 75 miles an hour, and that's top sustained wind. Neither reporting station has reported wind speeds of that intensity. So the wind speed is coming down. Now that the eye of the storm is over land, it does continue to weaken, but tornadoes could respond at any time. Indeed, there are tornado watches in effect for all of southern Louisiana and southern Mississippi. Let's take a look at the latest coordinates. I'll have to get out of the way. Hurricane Danny, 30.0 north, 92.7 west. Highest winds now at 75 miles an hour. One other thing I wanted to point out, by the way, there's the eye of the storm from the satellite. You can see it quite clearly. You have to look closely, but you can't see it. The other thing I wanted to point out, Graylin Young mentioned that when they were driving into Lafayette from the west, they saw just a little smattering of sunshine. That was no doubt when they were in the eye of the hurricane. It's very clear in there. No rainfall, nothing at all. That was the reason they saw the
storm change. The water temperature usually is warmer than 80 degrees. A storm builds as warm air rises off the water, creating high winds and heavy rain. Near the ocean surface, the air flows counterclockwise and rises around the central core or eye of the storm. As the air rises, it begins to flow outward in a clockwise fashion. It is the balance of these forces that allows the hurricane to strengthen and maintain its power. Gloria has become a dangerous hurricane because the forces are evenly balanced, allowing the continuous inflow and outflow of air. This, in addition to the warm sea surface temperature of 85 degrees around the storm, have allowed Gloria to reach winds of 150 miles per hour. A hurricane begins to weaken when the storm hits land, is blown apart by strong upper-level winds, or moves over colder water. Since the conditions around Gloria should not be changing much as the storm approaches the East Coast, the hurricane is not likely to weaken, and residents along the entire East Coast should be on the alert for this very dangerous storm. Nick Gregory, CNN.
Its way toward the eastern seaboard, many residents are expecting the worst and hoping for the best. David French has this report.
This most feared Atlantic hurricane in a quarter century.
1,000 miles out in the Atlantic, but now it is about 400 miles due south of Cape Hatteras, and it is moving still to the northwest at about 15 miles an hour. And with this kind of wind speed of 135 miles an hour and moving at that distance, it looks like somewhere between Morehead City or Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, is where Gloria will strike first and maybe reemerge out over the open waters. If that happens, it'll be early or late afternoon today, but I'll have much more a little bit later on in this broadcast. Here's Faith.
Here without making landfall. At the moment, winds are near 130 miles an hour. The barometric pressure at the eye of the hurricane is 27.82 inches, and its forward speed, as we said, is around 15 miles an hour. On the present course, this storm will come ashore in the Carolinas within the next 24 hours. Winds aside, coastal flooding in this area from Norfolk, Virginia down to just north of Charleston could be up to 12 feet above normal tides. At the moment, Hurricane Gloria is classified as a Category 3 hurricane, a borderline 4. It is somewhat diminished from yesterday, but the destructive potential of Gloria remains immense. John?
Thank you, Peter, and we'll be checking in throughout.